The Amish have perfected gardening without using equipment, chemicals, or modern tools. Their time-tested approaches provide vital lessons that can improve your backyard. Here are 50 Amish gardening techniques that will make you say, "Why didn't I think of that?" Let's dive in. 1. Drop a copper penny into your pots. The Amish prefer simple natural solutions, and this hack is pure genius. Placing a clean copper penny in your plant pots activates a natural defense system against fungus. How? As the penny sits in the soil, it gradually releases copper ions, producing an environment in which mold and mildew cannot thrive. Consider it a small guardian angel for your plant's roots, working tirelessly to keep them healthy. Many people spend hundreds of dollars on commercial fungicides, but this 1 cent method could be all you need. Just make sure to clean the penny first. Those green tarnished ones may appear charming, but they will not benefit your plants. If your pennies continue to disappear, it's possible that your cat has taken up coin collecting as a new interest. 2. Reuse boiled egg water for your plants. Don't waste the nutrient-rich water the next time you boil eggs. Instead, let it cool before using it to water your plants. As the eggs cook, calcium from the shells seeps into the water, forming a natural supplement to strengthen plant cell walls. This eco-friendly protein shake is especially useful for calcium-loving plants like tomatoes and peppers, which are susceptible to shortages. According to studies, plants treated with egg water grow up to 15% more vigorous than those watered with normal tap water. Just remember to let the water cool completely. Your plants will appreciate it. 3. Give plants a tea break. Who knew your morning cup of tea could be used as plant food? The Amish believe in making the most of all resources, including old tea leaves. Tea leaves contain tannins and nutrients that enhance the soil as they decay. To use, distribute cooled tea leaves about your plants or bury an entire tea bag near the roots. It functions as a slow-release vitamin for your soil. Fun fact, green tea leaves contain up to 4 times more nitrogen than coffee grounds, making them ideal for leafy plants. Just make sure to remove any staples from the tea bags. Your plants do not require metal in their diet. 4. Enrich soil with coffee grounds. Most people throw away spent coffee grounds, but gardening expertise passed down through generations proposes an alternative use. Coffee grounds are an excellent source of nitrogen, constituting around 2% by volume. That may seem insignificant, but it can have a significant impact on the health of your soil over time. Nitrogen is an essential ingredient that allows plants to grow lush and green, particularly leafy vegetables. Furthermore, coffee grinds increase soil texture and can serve as a mild pest deterrent. Compost them, mix them directly into your soil, or use them as mulch around your plants. The choice is yours. 5. Start seedlings in eggshells. Using eggshells as little plant pots may sound like a Pinterest DIY project, but believe me, it's a time-tested practice that Amish gardeners swear by. Half an eggshell is an excellent biodegradable beginning pot for your plants. Here's how to do it. Carefully crack your eggs, leaving 1/2 intact. Rinse it thoroughly, make a small drainage hole at the bottom, and fill it with dirt. Plant your seeds and allow nature to do its thing. What is the best part? When your seedlings are ready for transplanting, you can place the entire shell directly in your garden. It will naturally degrade, releasing calcium into the soil to nourish your budding plants. And if someone questions why you have eggs in your garden, simply explain that you are planting an omelet tree. The puzzled expressions? Priceless. 6. Save and dry your seeds. Long before garden centers existed, societies such as the Amish mastered the art of seed saving. It's like making a time capsule of your garden's best hits. Here's a tip. Choose seeds from your healthiest, most prolific plants, the ones with the juiciest tomatoes or crunchiest cucumbers. Dry them completely in a cool, dark place, as a single drop of moisture can turn your stored seeds into a moldy science experiment. Pro tip, label everything. You don't want to assume you planted carrots just to end up with pumpkins. Store seeds in paper envelopes or glass jars, and you'll have a treasure trove ready for next spring's gardening experience. Some gardeners report success rates of up to 90% using saved seeds, versus only 60% with store-bought seeds. It's worth it, right? 7. Compost your kitchen scraps. Transforming culinary garbage into garden gold is a centuries-old tradition practiced by the Amish. What about all those banana peels, coffee grinds, and apple cores you've been throwing away? They are secretly the VIPs of your future garden. Begin a compost pile by layering kitchen scraps with dry leaves, grass clippings, and dirt. Microorganisms will decompose everything into dark, crumbly compost, also known as black gold. Depending on your climate and how frequently you stir the pile, the process can take anywhere from 2 to 6 months. My grandmother used to say that her compost pile was like a soap opera, with billions of bacteria playing the main characters. Just keep meat and dairy out of the compost unless you want to organize a local raccoon conference. 8. Scatter hair for pest control. In the heart of Amish country, gardeners employ an unexpected but efficient bug deterrent, human hair. Before you reject this as an old wives' tale, consider this. Research shows that deer and rabbits avoid regions where they smell human scent. Simply gather hair off your brush, or if you're feeling adventurous, ask your local barbershop for extras, and spread it about the edge of your garden. Hair decomposes and releases nitrogen into the soil, making it a 2-for-1 insect control and fertilizer option. A single handful of hair carries enough nitrogen to sustain a square foot of garden for up to 6 months. Who knew haircut leftovers could be used as plant food? Bonus: learn timeless survival skills. The only goods we ever recommend on this channel are tools that preserve eternal wisdom. If you're interested in approaches like these, try preserving Claude Davis's book, 126 Superfoods and Preservation Methods, from the Great Depression and World War II. It is a treasure wealth of knowledge that we feel must be passed down to future generations. In addition, Nicole Appellion's Herbal Remedy Guide is available in their store. To learn more, go to our Frugal Solutions channel and look in the description for connections to these resources. 9. Repurpose hair ties to create a garden security system. Ever wonder what happened to all of your lost hair ties? Now you've found the right solution. They're part of your sophisticated garden security system. Scatter them around your garden's border as a humorous joke, or better yet, focus on the true hero, human hair. It's an old Amish practice for keeping pests like deer and rabbits away from your crops, and it also decomposes to provide nitrogen-rich fertilizer. Talk about multitasking. 10. Rotate crops for healthy soils. Crop rotation may appear sophisticated, but it's really simply a game of musical chairs for your plants. The concept is straightforward. Each plant absorbs different minerals from the soil, while some, such as peas and beans, return nutrients. Rotating heavy feeders like tomatoes with nitrogen-fixing crops like beans, followed by planting light feeders like carrots, keeps your soil healthy and pests guessing. According to research, crop rotation can increase yields by up to 20% while reducing pest problems by 30%. What is the most difficult part? Keeping track of what goes where. Some gardeners prepare maps, while others rely on memory, and let's just say it sometimes results in surprising vegetables. But isn't that part of the fun? 11. Broken pots? Use them as markers. When life sends you broken terracotta pots, don't throw them away. Instead, convert them into attractive plant markers. Write the names of your plants on the pieces with a permanent marker and place them in the soil. These waterproof markers complement your garden's design and will not fade or crack like plastic markings. One savvy gardener revealed that her clay markers have lasted more than 5 years, and counting. Just be careful with those sharp edges. You don't want your project to turn into guess which finger needs a bandage. Perhaps those clumsy moments in the garden were all part of the preparation for your clever recycling concept. 12th. Bury fish scraps as fertilizer. Using fish leftovers for fertilizer may sound fishy, but the results are nothing short of spectacular. This ancient approach, which is still common in Amish gardens, adds a potent combination of nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium to the soil, everything your plants require to thrive. Simply dig a hole approximately 12 inches deep, add your fish scraps, and top with dirt. The decomposition process releases nutrients that can treble your soil's nitrogen content. Pro tip: bury the scraps deep enough to deter neighborhood cats. My uncle jokingly quipped that employing this strategy, his tomatoes got so large that he needed a weightlifter to pick them. Okay, it may be an exaggeration, but the results are truly remarkable. 13. Boost plants with manure. Tea manure. Tea may not be the most aesthetically pleasing, but it is a nutrient-dense wonder for your plants. This Amish-approved approach includes steeping aged manure in water to produce a liquid fertilizer that your plants will like. Here's how it works. Fill a cloth bag with well-composted manure, place it in a bucket of water, and let it steep for a few days. What was the result? A nutrient-dense brew that plant roots can readily absorb. Before applying, dilute it until it resembles weak tea. A 5-gallon batch will feed your entire garden for weeks. A word of caution: keep this unusual brew apart from your ordinary tea collection. Mixing those containers could result in an unforgettable gardening story. 14th, practice companion planting. Some plants simply operate better together, like the garden's version of a power couple. Companion planting involves pairing plants that assist each other thrive. Take tomatoes and basil as an example. Basil enhances tomato flavor and repels pests such as aphids. Other effective combinations include marigolds with nearly anything to discourage nematodes, as well as the Three Sisters trio of maize, beans, and squash, which has been utilized for generations. With a little strategic pairing, you can increase growth, repel pests, and create a harmonious garden environment. 15th, match plants for perfect companionship. Companion planting is similar to matchmaking in your garden. Some plants thrive when grown together, such as carrots and onions. Onion's strong aroma confuses carrot flies, but carrots prevent pests that attack onions. It's a win-win. Similarly, marigolds are the ideal garden companion, protecting veggies with their pest-repelling blossoms. Research suggests that companion planting can reduce pest problems by up to 40%, making your garden healthier and happier. Just be aware of unfavorable pairings, such as beans and onions, which are as compatible as cats and water sprinklers. 16. Grow potatoes in barrels. When room is limited, expand upward rather than outward. Growing potatoes in barrels is similar to a gardening game of Jenga. Begin by putting seed potatoes at the bottom with some soil, and as the plants grow, add more soil layers. The miracle happens when each layer produces new potatoes along the concealed stems. One barrel can yield up to 100 pounds of potatoes, which is 5 times more than a regular garden plot. When harvest season arrives, simply tip the barrel over to gather your potatoes. It's like discovering a pirate's treasure chest full with tasty gold. 17. Scatter tiny seeds with cornmeal. Attempting to equally distribute small seeds can be like counting grains of sand. However, here's a brilliant Amish trick. Mix your seeds with cornmeal before sowing. Cornmeal functions as a carrier, making the seeds more visible and uniformly distributed. This simple hack increases germination rates by up to 30%, while also preventing seeds from clumping together. No more carrot clusters as tight as adolescents at a concert. Bonus: any dropped seeds provide a free cornmeal lunch for the birds, but let's hope they save some for your plants. 18. Harvest rainwater for irrigation. Collecting rainwater is not only environmentally friendly, it is also beneficial to your pocketbook and plants. Install barrels beneath your downspouts to collect hundreds of gallons of free chemical-free water each year. Rainwater, unlike tap water, contains no chlorine or fluoride, making it the champagne of plant hydration. 1 inch of rain on an average roof can yield nearly 600 gallons of water. Furthermore, the inherent acidity of precipitation increases the availability of nutrients in the soil to plant roots, supporting lush, healthy development. Cover your barrels with screens to keep mosquitoes away, unless you want to establish a mosquito water park. 19. Clean tools with vinegar. Garden tools are like dependable companions. Treat them carefully, and they will last a lifetime. Inspired by Amish craftsmanship where tools are frequently heirlooms, a simple vinegar bath may maintain your gear in peak condition. Soak rusted tools in white vinegar for a few hours and watch the rust disappear like magic. Vinegar contains acetic acid, which dissolves down filth without hurting the metal underlying. According to research, tools that are cleaned on a regular basis with vinegar can survive up to 3 times as long as neglected ones. Just make sure to completely dry them afterward. Wet tools are about as handy as a chocolate teapot. Remember that vinegar is used to clean instruments, not to make salad dressing. 20. Repel insects using marigolds. Marigolds are more than just a gorgeous face. They're the best pest deterrents for your garden. In Amish gardening circles, they are known as natural defenders because their pungent aroma confuses pests, and their roots release substances that deter soil-dwelling troublemakers like as nematodes. According to studies, marigold-bordered gardens have up to 60% fewer aphid infestations. Plant them around your vegetables and your garden will become a no-fly zone for unwelcome insects. My grandmother used to joke that marigolds are like miniature golden guard dogs, except they don't need walks or growl at the mailman. 21. Grow what you love. What's the point of growing vegetables that you won't consume? Following practical Amish knowledge, concentrate on planting foods that your family will like. According to studies, home gardeners spend up to 30% of their harvest on unwanted vegetables. That experimental artichoke patch may sound interesting, but if your family finds artichokes as enticing as eating pine cones, it's time to reconsider. Stick with crowd pleasers like tomatoes, lettuce, or herbs that you use frequently. Remember, a successful garden isn't about diversity, it's about how much makes it onto your dinner plate. 22nd, sow densely, then transplant. When beginning seedlings, keep them compact. Amish farmers frequently sow seeds densely in limited locations, almost like packing teens into a concert venue, but with enough room to breathe. When the seedlings are about 2 inches tall, carefully transplant the strongest ones to their permanent locations. This strategy minimizes early growth space while also ensuring that only the finest performers are planted. According to research, seeds that are densely sown germinate at a 15% greater rate due to shared warmth and moisture. Furthermore, it's similar to having a plant beauty pageant. The victors get the best garden places, while runners-up can use containers or neighbors. 23rd, plant seeds point down. Here's a unique yet efficient Amish hack. Plant seeds with the pointy ends facing downward. Why? The sharp end naturally houses the root tip, thus it is already orientated for growth. This simple method allows seeds to germinate up to 2 days faster, since they do not waste energy determining which way is up. Sure, planting this manner requires a bit more effort, but your seeds will thank you by sprouting faster and growing stronger. 24. Seeds will thank you by sprouting faster. Planting your seeds with the pointed end down gives them an advantage in terms of growth. This simple method accelerates seed germination, sometimes faster than a prairie dog at a picnic. Remember, this only works with seeds that are clearly indicated. Trying to figure out the sharp end of a carrot seed might be frustrating, but for the appropriate seeds, it can save time. 25. Control weeds using vinegar or bleach. Weeding does not always require harsh chemicals. In certain cases, a bottle of vinegar or bleach can suffice. Amish gardeners have long depended on these easy natural weed control methods. White vinegar, containing 5% acetic acid, can destroy up to 80% of weeds in 24 hours, particularly on sunny days when the acid is most potent. Bleach is the most effective treatment for tougher weeds. However, be cautious. Bleach is considerably harsher on your soil than vinegar, so use it sparingly. One gardener quipped that her vinegar spray was so effective that the dandelions started making their own salad dressing. Just make sure not to spray near treasured plants unless you want to create a post-apocalyptic garden look. 26. Feed tomato plants with banana peels. Do you want to raise prize-winning tomatoes? Your morning banana might be the key. In typical Amish form, banana peels are high in potassium, which tomato plants desire. Simply slice the peels into little pieces and bury them around the tomato plants. As they degrade, potassium is released, strengthening the stems and making the fruit more tasty. Lab investigations have revealed that banana peels contain up to 42% potassium, making them a natural energy drink for plants. After her tomatoes got so large, one gardener began referring to it as the Banana Republic. Just don't go overboard. While your tomatoes may enjoy the peels, your neighbors may not like the fruit fly convention you'll attract. 27. Improve soil with crushed eggshells. Instead of wasting eggshells, smash them and use them to improve your garden soil. Crushed eggshells are an excellent source of calcium, which prevents blossom end rot in tomatoes and strengthens plant cell walls. According to research, soil enhanced with eggshells can contain up to 20% more accessible calcium than untreated soil. Furthermore, the jagged edges of the broken shells deter slugs and snails from feeding on your plants. One gardener remarked that her tomatoes had more calcium than her breakfast cereal, and they never complained about the milk. 28. Deadheading flowers for more blooms. Regular deadheading, or removing wasted flowers, provides your plants a fresh start and encourages new blooms. Amish gardeners utilize this approach to increase flower production. Cutting off old blossoms just above healthy leaves or buds signals the plant to create more flowers, essentially pressing the garden's refresh button. According to studies, deadheaded plants generate up to 50% more blooms throughout the season. One gardener even reported that her marigolds became so thrilled about deadheading that they began dropping their old blooms on their own. But we believe the wind played a role in this. Just remember to leave a few flowers at the end of the season to collect seeds. 29th, repel rabbits using urine. As weird as it may sound, urine can be an effective rabbit repellent. Amish farmers utilize predator urine from people or dogs to form an invisible barrier that keeps bunnies out of their gardens. According to research, gardens with urine barriers enjoy 70% fewer rabbit visits than unprotected plots. To apply this procedure, dilute the pee with water, 1 part urine to 10 parts water, and spray it about the garden boundary. One gardener joked that his garden got so well defended that the bunnies began wearing little gas masks. Just be aware of time, as your neighbors may not love your new gardening regimen if they're throwing a backyard party. 30. Use straw to protect fruits. Using straw to protect ground-laying fruits like strawberries, melons, and pumpkins is a simple yet effective method. The straw serves as a protective barrier, keeping your fruits off the dirt and reducing fruit rot by up to 60%. It also keeps soil-dwelling pests from creating a home beneath your fruit. Aside from that, the straw retains soil moisture and inhibits weed growth, making it a multitasking garden superhero. Just make sure to use clean, seed-free straw unless you're secretly planning to cultivate a grain field beneath your fruit bushes. 31. Mow the grass while it's dry. Mowing damp grass is like giving a wet dog a haircut, messy and inefficient. Amish farmers recognize that cutting dry grass produces cleaner cuts and a healthier yard. Dry grass blades stand up straight, allowing mower blades to cut cleanly and evenly. Studies show that cutting dry grass might limit the spread of lawn diseases by up to 40%. Furthermore, dry clippings disperse more evenly, preventing clumpy clumps that can make your yard look disorganized. One homeowner even remarked that mowing wet grass left his yard looking like it had been done by a blindfolded barber during an earthquake. 32. Water plants at night. During summer. Watering. Your plants after sunset could be the finest move you make for your landscape. Night watering is not only a way to keep your plants cool, but it is also better gardening. It inhibits water evaporation during the day, allowing the roots to absorb up to 60% more moisture. Cooler evening temperatures help water to permeate deeper into the soil, resulting in stronger root growth. Just remember to water the soil directly rather than spraying the leaves, since wet foliage overnight might cause fungal concerns. One seasoned gardener even claimed that his neighbor's cats began to schedule their dinners around his nighttime watering routine. 33rd, consider drip irrigation. Sometimes the slow and steady approach is the best, and Amish farmers understand that drip irrigation is a water-saving champion. This technology provides water directly to the plant roots via small perforations in plastic tubing, using up to 50% less water than standard sprinkler systems. It's like having a dedicated water butler for each tomato and cucumber in your garden. According to research, drip irrigation allows plants to develop up to 25% faster than standard approaches. What is the best part? Setting up a basic system is straightforward. If you can string holiday lights, you can set up drip irrigation. One gardener quipped that his approach was so effective that his plants began writing thank you notes to the water meter. 34th, place ice cubes for slower watering. Who knew that ice cubes might help plants stay hydrated? A creative Amish-inspired solution consists of placing 2 or 3 ice cubes on the soil surface. They slowly melt and provide a consistent, progressive drink to your plants. This strategy is especially beneficial for fragile plants such as orchids, which dislike damp soil. According to research, plants watered with ice cubes have 30% less root rot than those treated normally. It's like installing a small drinking fountain for your plants. No mess, no stress, just consistent hydration. One plant enthusiast even quipped that when the ice maker ran, her plants started doing the cha-cha, though this was most likely due to her imagination rather than true plant behavior. 35. Insulate pots using wool socks. In classic Amish inventiveness, wool socks, which are staples in any Amish household, may be reused to keep plant roots warm throughout the colder months. Simply place an old wool sock over the bottom of your pots to protect them from the cold. This easy approach will help your plants withstand chilly nights and sudden cold snaps by shielding their roots and keeping them warm without the need for expensive pots or materials. The modest wool sock is another example of practical sustainability, and it's an excellent method to repurpose old socks. 36. Keep pots warm with wool socks. Wool socks are fantastic not just for your feet but also for your plants. Slipping an old wool sock over the bottom of your pots will help insulate the plant roots and protect them from unexpected frosts. According to studies, wool-insulated pots can keep temperatures up to 15 degrees Fahrenheit higher than unprotected containers. The natural material traps air pockets, which provide great insulation without retaining excessive moisture. One gardener even started a neighborhood craze after her sci-fi plant survived a surprising frost, and suddenly, every garden resembled laundry day. Just make sure to wear clean socks unless you want to grow a new strain of foot-scented petunias. 37th, sprinkle wood ash for potassium boost. Those wood ashes left over from your fireplace are significantly more helpful than you may realize. They're like garden gold. Amish wisdom tells us to use every resource carefully, and wood ash contains nutrients like 5% potassium and 2% phosphorus, which strengthen plant stems and promote healthy blossoming. To use, gently sprinkle cooled wood ash about your plants, approximately 1 cup per square yard. It also helps to neutralize acidic soils, although it should not be used on acid-loving plants such as blueberries. Garden trials demonstrate that plants treated with wood ash have up to 20% more blooms than untreated plants. Just remember that a little goes a long way, so keep it light. Think dusting, not a volcano eruption. 38th, use onion skins as fertilizer. What about those papery onion peels you've been throwing away? They may be worth their weight in garden gold. Drawing on Amish wisdom, which emphasizes using every part of the produce, onion skins are high in nutrients such as potassium, calcium, and trace quantities of magnesium, essentially a multivitamin for your garden. Soak the skins in water for 3 days to make a nutrient-dense tea, or just bury them in the soil around your plants. According to research, plants treated with onion skin fertilizer develop up to 25% faster than those who do not receive the benefit. One gardener reported that after using onion skin tea, her roses became so vigorous that they outperformed other blooms. Just make sure to bury the skins deep enough, or your garden will begin to smell like a French restaurant during dinner rush. 39th. Place coffee filters at the bottom of pots. Coffee filters. Simple yet effective. They eliminate one of the most frustrating container gardening issues, dirt escaping via drainage holes. These simple paper circles work as miniature bouncers, keeping soil in while letting excess water to drain away. Tests demonstrate that pots with coffee filter barriers retain up to 30% more soil when watering than pots without. Simply lay a coffee filter at the bottom of your pot before adding soil, and you won't have to worry with nasty, unclean water stains on your patio again. One container gardener quipped that her coffee filters were working double duty, filtering coffee in the morning and dirt in the afternoon. Plus, unlike rocks or broken crockery, coffee filters eventually decompose, returning organic matter to the soil. Talk about a win-win. 40. Aerate soil using chopsticks. In the spirit of Amish practicality, leftover chopsticks from takeout can make excellent gardening tools. Use them to gently poke holes in compacted soil, allowing air, water, and nutrients to reach the plant roots. According to studies, aerated soil absorbs up to 40% more water and nutrients than compacted soil, providing a healthier environment for your plant's roots. Simply insert the chopsticks into the dirt every few inches, twist gently, and withdraw. One gardener even dubbed the procedure plant acupuncture, stating that her plants were more peaceful afterward, though if they become overly relaxed, you might want to check what else you're putting in the soil. 41st. Place matchsticks in soil for magnesium. Sometimes the best solutions appear in the most unexpected locations. Consider ordinary wooden matchsticks, for instance. Simply burying matchsticks in the soil can give your plants an extra injection of magnesium. Magnesium is a necessary ingredient for photosynthesis, and it can help plants become stronger and healthier. This simple technique, straight from Amish agricultural tradition, is an easy way to give your plants some extra love without using expensive fertilizers. The matchsticks gradually break down over time, releasing magnesium into the soil where it is most required. 42. Boost magnesium with matchsticks. When you insert simple wooden matchsticks into your potting soil, they gently release magnesium as they decay, allowing your plants to absorb this essential vitamin. The sulfur in the match heads also helps to reduce soil pH, making it perfect for acid-loving plants. According to research, plants treated with matchsticks have up to 25% more chlorophyll than those that aren't. Simply insert 4 to 6 matchsticks around each plant and push them halfway into the soil. One gardener even reported that after employing matchsticks, her plants become so green that they began delivering gardening advice to the neighboring trees. Just make sure to use ordinary wooden matches. Your plants do not require sophisticated waterproof or strike anywhere matches to receive their magnesium dose. 43rd. Make newspaper pots for seedlings. Taking a lesson from the Amish book of resourceful gardening, yesterday's headlines might become tomorrow's garden containers. Rolling sheets of newspaper into biodegradable pots saves money and reduces waste while providing the best start for your seedlings. According to studies, seedlings raised in newspaper pots have up to 40% less transplant stress than those grown in plastic containers. Because you can plant the entire pot directly into the ground, the newspaper decomposes organically, enriching the soil as it goes. One gardener dubbed her newspaper pot collection the Daily Grow, but her plants appeared to be more concerned with growing than keeping up with the newest news. Simply avoid using glossy magazine pages unless you want your tomatoes to start wearing the newest fashion trends. 44. Place plants in the bathroom to increase humidity. Following the Amish principle of working with nature, your bathroom's natural humidity might provide the ideal microclimate for specific plants. The steam from showers can increase humidity levels by up to 30%, transforming your bathroom into a tropical paradise. Ferns, orchids, and peace lilies flourish in this climate, growing up to 20% quicker than in drier sections of the house because to the continuous moisture levels. One plant enthusiast joked that her toilet jungle had grown so lush that she began charging entry for tours, though this may be an exaggeration. Just make sure your bathroom receives enough natural light, or your tropical paradise may turn into a plant retirement home. 45th root cuttings in a potato. The simple potato provides a surefire method for rooting plant cuttings. This smart method, reminiscent of Amish ingenuity, employs the potato as a natural rooting medium, delivering consistent moisture and nutrients while preserving growing roots. It improves success rates by up to 70% over standard methods. Simply cut a potato in half, make a small hole in the center, and insert the cutting approximately 1 inch deep. The potato's natural sugars and moisture promote root growth, while its substantial flesh provides excellent support for cutting. Plant the potato and cutting directly into the earth, leaving only the plant stem above ground. One gardener reported her potato-propagated plants thrived so well that they asked for French fries as fertilizer. Just make sure to use fresh potatoes. Those sprouted spuds in the back of your pantry may have other ideas for your garden. 46. Use lemon peels as biodegradable pots. When life hands you lemons, convert them into little plant nurseries. Emptied lemon halves make excellent biodegradable seed starting containers, in keeping with Amish traditions of utilizing every available resource. Lemon peels naturally contain nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium, which improve the soil as they degrade. They're a simple, environmentally responsible way to jumpstart your plant's growth without producing waste. Simply scoop out the insides of the lemon, fill with soil, and plant your seeds. When it's time to transplant, place the entire lemon peel right in the ground, nature's ideal small pot. 47. Citrus pots can boost germination. Citrus peels, like lemon halves, degrade and feed the soil while also improving seedling germination rates. According to research, seedlings cultivated in citrus pots had a 30% greater germination rate due to the peel's antibacterial characteristics. To utilize this approach, scoop out the fruit, punch drainage holes in the bottom, add potting soil, and plant your seeds. When your seedlings are ready, you can plant the complete citrus pot directly in the garden. One inventive gardener even named her citrus nursery the Sour Patch Nursery, though the only thing sour about it was the leftover lemonade. 48th. Sprinkle cinnamon on the seedlings. Cinnamon is more than simply a baking spice. It's also an effective natural fungicide. To prevent your seedlings from damping off disease, sprinkle cinnamon on them as per Amish gardening wisdom. According to research, cinnamon lowers fungal development by up to 80% when compared to untreated soil. Simply sprinkle a little layer of dirt around your seedlings, much to powdered sugar on French toast. The antibacterial capabilities assist to prevent mold and mildew, while also providing your greenhouse a lovely holiday-like perfume. One gardener quipped that after using cinnamon, her plants thrived so wonderfully that the neighborhood fungi sought a restraining order. Just remember that a little goes a long way. You're preserving your plants, not growing a pumpkin spice garden. 49th, use baking soda on the soil. That little box of baking soda in your kitchen may be your garden's new best friend. Baking soda, based on Amish family habits, is a natural fungicide and bug deterrent. A light dusting generates an alkaline environment, which fungus spores dislike. Tests demonstrate that it can inhibit fungal growth by up to 60%. Spray 1 tablespoon of baking soda with a gallon of water over your plant's leaves or sprinkle it directly on the soil near acid-loving plants. It also confuses slugs and snails, who would rather take a different route than cross the powdery barrier. One gardener said that her snails began wearing small umbrellas to dodge the baking soda showers. Just don't go overboard. Your garden requires balanced soil, not a science experiment. 50. Add charcoal to terrariums. Adding a layer of charcoal to your terrarium acts as a natural air cleaner, drawing inspiration from Amish methods of developing self-sustaining systems. Activated charcoal absorbs extra moisture, filters out contaminants, and eliminates the foul odor that can develop in enclosed spaces. According to studies, terrariums with charcoal layers might last up to 3 times longer than those without. Place a thin layer of charcoal between the drainage stones and the soil to form a natural filtration system for your little garden. One terrarium lover claimed her charcoal-filtered arrangement became so spotless that her plants began holding cleanliness competitions. Just remember to use horticultural charcoal, not barbecue leftovers, unless you want your terrarium to smell like last summer's picnic. 51st. Use pencil shavings as mulch. Could your pencil sharpener contain garden gold? These tiny wood curls, similar to the cedar mulch used by Amish craftsmen, provide surprisingly efficient mulch. Pencil shavings are like small cedar mulch, with natural pest repellent characteristics. Research shows that areas mulched with pencil shavings retain up to 25% more moisture than bare soil. Spread a thin layer over indoor plants or container gardens to deter pests such as fungus gnats. One teacher began collecting shavings from her classroom's pencil sharpener and claimed that her windowsill garden was the best maintained in the school. Just use basic wooden pencils. Neon-colored ones may add too much flair to your garden's color palette. 52nd place old sponges for drainage. Worn-out kitchen sponges may be retired from dish duty, but they are ideal for plant pots. Inspired by Amish inventiveness, employing sponges as drainage material reduces waterlogging while providing just enough moisture for healthy roots. According to research, sponge drainage layers in pots hold up to 40% more moisture during dry spells than standard gravel. Cut the sponges to fit the bottoms of your pots, and they'll function as miniature water reservoirs. According to research, plants using sponge drainage systems live up to 2 days longer between waterings than those without. One container gardener even reported that her sponge-bottomed pots became so effective that they began offering water management advice to surrounding plants. Just make sure to use plain sponges. Sponges with soap residue may transform your next watering session into an unexpected bubble party. 53rd. Add Epsom salt for flowering plants. According to Amish gardening tradition, Epsom salt is more than just a soothing bath. It's like a spa treatment for your flowering plants. Epsom salt contains magnesium and sulfur, which promote chlorophyll production and help flowers grow larger, brighter blooms. Mix 2 teaspoons Epsom salt per gallon of water and apply once a month during the growing season. Garden research demonstrate that plants treated with Epsom salt solution generate up to 35% more blooms than untreated plants. Roses, peppers, and tomatoes benefit the most from the magnesium boost. One gardener claimed that after applying Epsom salt, her roses became so vivid that the local bees began posting 5-star reviews. Just remember not to mix your garden's Epsom salt with your bath salts unless you want your evening dip to smell like potting dirt. 54. Cover pots with plastic bags to control humidity. Creating a tiny greenhouse out of plastic bags may sound modern, but it is based on Amish conservation ideas. A clear plastic bag placed over your pots can enhance humidity by up to 70%, providing ideal conditions for cuttings and humidity-loving plants. Make sure the plastic does not contact the foliage, and if necessary, use stakes to keep it raised. The enclosed environment maintains regular moisture levels and temperatures, increasing growth rates by up to 25%. One plant mom dubbed her bag collection the Bag Ladies Garden Club, stating that her plants began conducting secret meetings under their plastic domes. Make sure to poke a few small holes for airflow. You're going for a green